Hello YouTube, I'm Andrew Does Hair. You can find my work on Instagram at Andrew Does Hair. I started off planning this video to be like here's a hair routines that really work kind of video. And as I was thinking about it, making notes and stuff, the idea kind of shifted into something a little bit more, I guess, obscure. And that is the idea that hair looks really good when it's lived in. And I'm going to kind of rant about that for a little bit here. See, there's certain items of clothing that we feel the need, as we should, to wash every time you wear them. You wear a t-shirt, socks, underwear, those have to get cleaned right away. Kind of similar to our teeth. You want to brush your teeth quite frequently, right? But then there's other items that actually kind of look better when they're well worn, like a pair of boots or a good pair of like a raw denim selvage jeans or a nice leather jacket. Certain items actually look a lot better as they get worn and wrinkled and broken in. And I think just from kind of talking to people over the years about their hair, I think a lot of people kind of treat their hair the way they treat their t-shirts and underwear and socks and their teeth, in that they go, hey, what should my daily hair routine be? And it's like, bro, give your hair what it needs that day. Because truthfully, your hair is a lot more like a pair of salvage jeans or vintage boots than it is like a t-shirt or a pair of underwear or your teeth. You got to kind of scientific method your approach to your hair. How often should I shampoo? Well, shampoo it, style it, and then watch it for a few days and see if it gets better or worse. See, what happens typically is you shampoo your hair and it gets really, really fluffy. What'll happen as you live in your hair is it's actually usually going to start to look a little bit better. And then sometimes maybe 2 days later, sometimes 5 days later, sometimes 2 weeks later, it'll stop looking better and it'll start looking worse. And you got to kind of test out methods with your hair and give it that time to be lived in and broken in, and let that become a part of your process. It's not about wiping the slate clean and shampooing your hair every single morning or night. It's like there is a bit of wearing the hair that makes it look good. Touching it, letting oils accumulate a little bit. It's kind of funny when you think about it. We shampoo our hair because, oh no, it's oily. And then as soon as we shampoo it, it's like, well, I better put in conditioner because now it's dry since I stripped out all the oils. And then every single hairstyling product ever, just about, is some kind of wax or oil, because get this, our hair looks good when it's got some oil in it. And so I used to think of styling hair as probably similar to the way that I think most guys do, which is you take hair that's doing something you don't want it to do, somehow or another, whether with product or tools, you force it to do what you want it to do, and now your hair is styled. I used to think of hair that way, but now after like 20 years of doing this, I think of styling hair more like breaking it in so that it continues to move nicely and fall apart gracefully throughout the cycle from shampoo to shampoo. It's kind of like if you get fresh, crisp, dark blue jeans and you put them on and they're real stiff, you might want to do some squats in them real quick. It'll get them to start creasing in the right places, and almost immediately they're a little bit more comfortable, but it gets them started breaking in, and they begin to look better and better as they break in. Or similarly, you put on a brand new heavy leather jacket and you could barely move in it and it fits so perfect and snug. It's going to take a little bit of time for it to break in, but you might want to maybe do some push-ups in it first to just get the creases going. That's sort of what hairstyling is. I'm not going to go too much into the how everything in this video, because I've got dozens of videos with various hair textures and various hairstyles where I'm showing this process. There's a lot of different techniques for different looks and different textures. However, there is one universal thing. Almost always, I move the hair a lot while I'm blow drying it. And what I find is moving the hair a lot is similar to doing push-ups in the new stiff jacket or doing squats in the stiff pair of jeans. It just sort of starts to break it in. This kind of like, I don't know, unwashed hair thing, and I'm gonna be very careful. I might say dirty a couple times throughout this video. I'm not literally saying like, hey bro, let your hair be dirty, because there's a huge difference between worn and dirty. There's a huge difference between broken in and dirty. Although when it comes to hair, it's kind of like easy to automatically interchange those words without thinking about it. What I'm talking about is broken in hair. Hair that you've touched a little bit, it's had time to absorb some of the products and some of your natural oils. Usually after a little bit of time, it looks better than when it's freshly shampooed and fluffy. In fact, it's kind of funny. A lot of women, they're either told this or they're allowed to figure it out on their own. Guys think like,
Bro, if I don't shampoo my hair every day or every other day, I'm a dirtball. Like, how do people live like that?
But If you ask some of the women around you, you'd be surprised. For one, they know kind of how much wear their hair needs before it looks its best. They'll know a time frame. After this shampoo, my hair will look better after X amount of hours or days. The other thing is they're not shampooing their hair every day. For some reason, people with longer hair, and women in particular, seem to know about this, and they've been given the okay to treat their hair that way. But a lot of guys I talk to who got short hair, they're like, oh, I shampoo it twice a day, once in the morning before work, once again in the afternoon after the gym. And I'm like, bro, like, that's why your hair's fluffy all the time, and that's why it doesn't look good. You got to live in it. Watch, I'll give you an example. I went and I just asked a bunch of women around my salon about their hair. It'll give you an idea of how well they know their sort of lived-in process. How long after you shampoo your hair does it take before it's like its absolute best, like perfect?
2 days.
And how often do you shampoo your hair?
Once to twice a week.
Like when it looks the best?
Yeah.
Usually like either the end of that day or day 2.
And how often do you shampoo your hair?
Once a week because I'm really lazy.
How long after you shampoo your hair does it take before your hair is like its absolute best?
Oh, I would say at least 2 to 3 days.
And how often do you shampoo your hair?
I shampoo my hair every, I would say 4 days.
How long after you shampoo your hair does it take before it's like its absolute best?
The next day,
How often do you shampoo your hair?
once or twice a week.
How long after you shampoo your hair does it take before your hair is like its absolute best?
4 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. And how often do you shampoo your hair?
Once or twice a week.
So they weren't primed or prepped on that question. I kind of dropped it on them without telling them what I was going to ask them. I think like if I were to grab random dudes who had really great looking hair, they'd probably have similar answers to what we just heard from these women. And it's because like part of the reason a lot of times dudes' hair looks cheesy is because they're freaking washing it too much. Again, not saying you want your hair to be dirty, but you want it to be lived in. So like wearing a pair of boots or a pair of jeans until they crease and mold to your body for a very customized looking piece, letting your hair move and like just like if you got a thing where you're always doing this to your hair, freaking do that thing. It's gonna make your hair look like your hair. If you like to drive your convertible with the top down and you're like, oh, I'm worried my hair is gonna get blown around, freaking do it. Blowing your hair around actually is gonna make it look cooler. You know, think about when we watch these movies where we're like, that guy's got really sick hair. It's usually in character for a person who didn't just get out of the shower and comb their hair in place. Brad Pitt fighting in some war has hair that looks like he's fighting in some war. What I'm getting at is like we like the look of lived in hair, but we're afraid to live in our hair to get that look. And it's kind of funny how over the years I've seen and met dudes where their hair's like really, really good. And I'm like, bro, like what do you do with your hair? And I kind of laugh and go, I don't know, nothing. Live in a van on tour. Oh, you know what? And this whole breaking in the hair thing, that's not just about messy hairstyles. Like it sounds like I'm just talking about if you want messy hair, just don't wash it for a while. The thing is, the styling process, moving the hair a whole bunch to break it in, what that'll allow your hair to do, even for neat hairstyles, is it makes your hair move better, so you can kind of put it where you want it a little bit better. If you've got fresh out of the shower hair that's like been shampooed and conditioned and all that, and you have cowlicks everywhere, and the wave's not going quite the way you want it to, the way to get that to sort of settle down and snap into shape is to break it in. Like you flat wrap the hair, you blow dry it, you push it around. And once it's kind of been worked around a whole bunch, it moves a whole lot nicer. And again, you can go watch, like I've got dozens of videos where I'm doing this for both neat and messy hairstyles. You break in your hair, you move it around a bunch, you live in it, and then it moves better. Have you ever noticed like sometimes you'll go out and at the end of the night when you're home and you're looking in the mirror and your hair happens to be perfect and you kind of think like, man, I hope it was like that all night. It's because going out and dancing and doing whatever the heck you do when you're out, and moving your hair around and living in it is a part of the process to make it look good. Yeah, how'd I do? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I almost forgot to mention, how does haircut play into all of this? When you have a jacket that is tailored beautifully, it wrinkles beautifully. If you've got a jacket that doesn't fit nicely or a pair of jeans that don't fit nicely, then as they age and wrinkle and fold, they just don't look right. They kind of bunch up in the wrong places. So when you get a good haircut, if it's done right, it should grow out beautifully. It should fall apart beautifully. It should actually, to some degree, it should look better a little bit after you get it cut than it does the day you get it cut, for the most part. And so as far as like hair routines. How often should I get a haircut? When should I get a haircut? When you feel like your hair is not falling apart gracefully, if it's not easy to style, if it's not breaking in well, that's when it's time to go get your hair tailored, is a good way to think about it. Like, my shirt doesn't fit nicely. I'm going to go get it tailored. My hair is just not fitting nicely today. I need to go get it tailored. And it is a huge, huge belief of mine that if the haircut is done right, it should fall apart really nicely. It should look better as you live in it. In fact, I guarantee it. If I cut your hair and it doesn't grow back really nicely and easily for you, I'll give you a free haircut.